One of the hardest things about setting up your own Shopify store is figuring out if there will be a market for your product on Facebook. If there isn't, then it's going to be difficult for you to get traffic to your Shopify store and therefore to make any money. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do a pre-check to make sure there's sufficient traffic for you available before you start your Shopify store. Now, if you like this kind of information where I'm helping you make more money on your Shopify store, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. That way I will know that you want more content like this. Also consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. We post brand new money-making information just like this each and every day. And if you've got any questions for me, or indeed just a comment below and I'll answer it personally for you. With that being said, let's get into it. How can I know if there is a market for my Shopify products, for my Shopify store? Two ways, count them, of figuring out if there is actually a market for your Shopify store. And the big advantage of Shopify, as I see it, is control of your customers, control of the experience, and also costs. So you haven't got the same costs associated with Amazon. The Amazon PPC costs are high usually, and also the FBA fees as well. So the FBA commission, are also high as well. Runs between 10 and 12% per sale. So you don't have that either. So there's a lot of good reasons to sell on your own Shopify store. Indeed, the new business that we're going to build, the Oodle food business, that will be built as a Shopify first direct-to-consumer business, okay? So they're the good things. The bad things, well, the bad things is you've now got your own website. Awesome, that's fantastic. And now you have to get qualified customers to your website. Well, how the fuck are you going to do that? Typically, to begin with anyway, as you're building up momentum, that's going to be paid traffic. And the best sources for paid traffic for most kinds of things, as far as targeted paid traffic goes, is Facebook and Google. They're your best sources of it, okay? So that's where I would start my search for a particular, to figure out if there's a market for my particular thing, okay? And normally you would do this before the fact. So it's not a good idea to set up everything and then figure out if there's a market for it. You don't want to do that. That's going to cost you a lot of money. Instead, when you've got the idea, go check it out. Go see if there's a market you can put your products in front of, okay? So, Facebookie. Pretty simple. What you want to do here is go to Facebook. I'm not going to go for the entire thing. Set up your Facebook business account, blah, blah, blah. Get yourself into a situation where you can then create an ad. As soon as you've got to that, I can now create an ad. This is where you will end up. Well, let's just do that actually. Instead of doing that, I'm going to show you this. So this is where you'll end up, where you can actually go and create your own ads, okay, in your own campaigns. And here's an ad I set up earlier. So how to then check. Let's come down. So the audience area is where you want to be. So start with your location. Your location, okay? So if you're selling in Australia, then clearly you want to have Australia in there. If you're selling in the US of A, United States, or United Kingdom, then of course you'd have UK in there, okay? You want to just make sure you're targeting the right area. That's going to be very, very important. Let's just leave it on the UK. Your age. Don't be tempted to have this wide open, okay? You'll get an inaccurate reading. There are, without a doubt, age ranges for products all the time, okay? And if you don't understand what your age range is, then I suggest you kind of go back and spend some time thinking about it, who your target customer is, because it's not everybody. It's not everybody between the ages of 18 and 100. That's not your target audience. Your target audience is different. Okay, so you got to work out who they are. Let's say our target audience, I don't know what for, is somebody between the ages of 30 and, shall we say, 40. What is the gender of the buyer of the product? Buyer being the operative word. Remember, there's lots and lots of things that are purchased by, well, I'm going to say women, because we all know women control the purse strings in the majority of houses, but they're actually for other people. Could be they're given as gifts, or could be they're just, I don't know, could be anything at all. But you've got to think about who's the actual buyer of the product, okay? That's the person you market to, not the user of the product, the buyer of the product. Anyway, so let's say for us, we're going to be targeting ladies. And then you've got to do demographics. Let's just edit this. So within this, there's actually some very, very neat stuff that Facebook makes available to us already, you know? So you can target all sorts of different things. Like, for instance, if I was Cindy Steele, for instance, thinking about who I can target for my bubble gum, I might come and look for people between a certain age, for instance. Who would be that age? Well, it could be between 6 and 12 years I might go. So I might just go there. Have people there, for instance, and target those people there. So it could be that, okay? But there's some really, really good targeting functions that are inherent within it, okay, to help you get started. And then I might then say to myself, well, I want to narrow my audience a little bit because I don't want everybody in that audience. I want to find people who've at least got a job, or at least or they work in a particular area, or they are in a particular financial situation where I know they're going to be a particular income variant. So I could go target that as well. And let's just get rid of that. And then I might also look at people who are interested in certain things. And this is where the art side of Facebook comes in. It's part art, part science, okay? You've got to be a little bit of an armchair psychologist and have an interest in your customers to get this right. Because most of the things that we sell on Amazon have not got a specific interest on Amazon that will come up, okay? There are some things like, for instance, if you're selling stuff for triathletes, then you can find people who are interested in triathlete related things or triathlons, you know, you can find those, for instance. But the oodle food business, for instance, so if I want to find people who are interested in cavoodles, nada, okay? So then you have to start being a little bit more creative and start to understand what else your market will be interested in, okay? That's where the art side of this comes in, okay? And the more you can understand about your customer, the better they will be. So you might just start with, for the oodle thing, you know, I don't want to kind of give away what we're going to do for the oodle thing, but you might start with dog owners, for instance, or you might start with people who are interested in dogs or dog lovers, for instance. You might start there and start to narrow down your market that way, okay? But it is absolutely a little bit art, a little bit science, okay? Anything else I want to show you with that? I don't think so. So, and then once you've done that, let's just go through that. So we've got those people there. Anybody else? Oh, so Victoria says, I like to target eBay, so I know that they know and are comfortable to shop online. Okay, you could absolutely do that. So you target eBay and they're eBay shoppers. Yep, you could totally do that. I would be surprised to find people who are not comfortable shopping online anymore. However, especially if you're targeting older people, so, you know, kind of over 60s, well, there may be some reticence around shopping online still. So in that situation, absolutely, That's a good thing to do, no doubt about it. So that gives you a sense of the market. Your mum is 80 and shops online. Yeah, my mum's the same. She's 75 and loves shopping online. She'll shop all day. But everybody's different. Some folks will be absolutely reticent to put their, like my father-in-law, he's like, I don't want Russian scammers to get my card. He's 83, doesn't want Russians to steal his stuff. So without a doubt, that tip from Victoria, in that kind of situation, beautiful. All right, so then you can get your estimated daily results from here and your audience size here, okay? An audience size, what should you target? Not all audiences are created equally. I would much, much rather have a very small audience of absolute buyers than a huge audience of potential, maybe they're interested, maybe they're not. I've kind of got to work hard to sell them people, okay? I'm sure you feel the same. So how big should your audience be? Well, it depends on how good your targeting has been. And that's a shit answer to give you. And I'm acutely aware of that because you just want to know it's this, but it isn't just this. Let's see if I can give you it's this. In Australia, I would absolutely want to find over 50,000 people who met my criteria, okay? If I was looking, I'd want to find over 50,000 people I could put my advert in front of. In the USA, in the UK, well, you could argue the same thing would apply, over 50,000, okay? But if you start finding yourself in a situation where you're targeting millions of people, does your product really suit millions of people? If it does, maybe you haven't niched it down enough. That's something for you to think about, okay? That was a video from my regular Monday night Q&A session with the members of the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. Over 2,500 members and growing. We're actually the fastest growing e-commerce community right here in Australia with sales of over $50 million. If you'd like to find out more about what we do at the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs, get yourself off to www.aussieonlineentrepreneurs.com.au and I will see you on the inside. Until then, bye!